Welcome to Story Ideas on the Fly, where we take a random idea out of the hat and try to develop it.
Okay. The Great Wizard, who was... Okay, now I'm going to laugh. The Great Wizard, who was revered by all, is actually 3 kids in a trench coat.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. What was that little song?
3 kobolds in a trench
Kobolds in a trench coat?
Was no man at all, he was 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Okay.
All right.
So the Great Wizard is
Actually 3 kids in a trench coat.
Okay. Should we take this literally?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I think we take it literally.
How would you take it any other way?
Some of the kid on the bottom's very strong.
Yeah, really.
I'm going to say, one interesting thing is, Great Wizard, a lot of this depends on how magic works.
Is magic a hereditary thing? Is it something you learn over eons of practice?
I would not have these be 3 human children.
Okay.
I would have
3
them-
dwarves.
3 dwarfs would
Or
be
kobolds or something.
Right.
It's classic for D&D.
Okay, could you do a bit of a Wizard of Oz thing where the Great Wizard doesn't actually have to do magic, he just gives really he gives advice that is not even necessarily super complex advice, just he sees what's going on and says, "Hey, why don't you do this?" I don't know.
You could do something like that. Okay.
It would be hard to make it believable that this hasn't been exposed, though.
So one interesting thing is you could have interesting complications when it comes to magic that makes it easier for just groups of people to do magic. You could have it be so that magic is, if you have magic be based around basically almost like a reality desync, where you do something in one way and push something in another way, and that split is what causes magic. Then that would mean that you would basically be required to have multiple people cast 90% of spells, and for a single person to do it would be really hard.
Okay.
But this person would then be able to do it easily because there are 3 people.
Okay.
So you could do something like that.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. What if you have these 3, and it says children. Children, though, 3 kids in a trench coat. And kids is somewhat relative, because if you have an elf that's a child, they're still much older than
an elf who's 99 years old is still considered a child in most cases.
Or considered a teenager.
Okay, whatever. But
no, that's 100.
It doesn't
whatever
have to
you
be,
hear.
It doesn't have to be a super young child.
Yes.
But suppose you've got this where you've got these 3 kids in a trench coat. The way that they get away with it is this: you have a society that has
illusion.
I
cast disguise self.
But you have, yes, you have. You made me lose my train of thought. Train of thought. Okay, I can't speak today. So you have some building built. It has kind of some platform with elaborate thing at the top of it, and they almost worship this with wizard, because this wizard has the ability of earth, wind, and fire. Okay.
So you're thinking elemental magic?
Yeah, maybe. And so each one of them, though, each one of these children has a different kind of magic. And because they're not human, that's why they have the magic. It's a racial thing. And so they are coming in this human society where the people don't have magic, and they are looked on as this great wizard, as this powerful, but they are afraid if they reveal, because maybe their people were chased out years ago, or things, and so now they're going, yes, we do these things for you.
Okay, so one of them should be a tiefling, one should be a drow.
No, you gotta. I was thinking something similar.
They're scared of revealing, hey, we're not actually a wizard. We're 3 kids in a trench coat because of their race. You want to go with races that people would be racist towards.
So what if you have a world, though, where the races do not mingle?
Yeah.
Where different races do not mingle, they don't get together, that's kind of taboo, and so everyone sticks to their own. But then you have these 3
teenagers.
No, you have 3 different races who were basically abandoned orphans, or they were, sold as slaves and escaped or something, but whatever their tragic backstory is, these 3 kids ended up working together and found out that when you combine dwarvish magic and elvish magic and orcish magic all together at once, you actually get a really strong result. So you can do something that other people can't, and nobody else, I won't say nobody's ever thought to do this, but that it's so rare for the races
Because
to
the
mingle.
races don't get along, they really haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
Um,
And so this is a great wizard, and the kids are just like,
no, we just
whatever keeps us alive. Okay, yeah, we are the great wizard.
we are the great wizard. Worship us.
I
what
mean,
do you
I
want?
am the great wizard. I totally.
Yes.
I am one person.
The royal we. Have you not heard of it?
Right. Sorry.
Right. All right. Did you have
Yes.
something? You're making notes. I just didn't know.
I was just trying to figure out. I was just wanting to know what kind of races these are. One of them should definitely be a dwarf, probably another an elf, and then the other one I'm thinking tiefling. Honestly,
The big problem with that is they'd have to be basically 5 in order to be 3 kids in a trench coat look at as one person. That's why I think they should be dwarves, because dwarves, they're strong, they're sturdy, and they're short.
You could have a little fairy.
You could have a small, a younger elf though, because then the he could
There
do the
are
face.
different types of elves. I mean,
True.
historically, through legend, some elves are this big, some elves are 6 feet tall.
Yes, but you
So-
can have a short elf.
Yeah, you can have
or
a short
very
elf.
young
I've seen
elf.
elves that were 8 feet tall.
Yeah, it just, I
Yes,
mean,
but
elves,
you could have a young enough elf that he could sit on a friend's shoulders and look like,
right.
you know,
So,
Hmm.
I kind of
you
like
could
this.
make it work.
Okay, these guys so we got an interesting setting. We've got our wizard villain.
Ooh, villain. Okay, the races don't mingle. Could someone be doing this on purpose?
I think so.
I feel like the most likely candidate, if you want him to be actually a threat to an entire culture, would be that there is a dragon who knows about how magic ends up complementing other types of magic.
And so he's
He's going,
keeping them
no,
apart.
I want to keep these guys as far apart as possible so that they don't actually stand a chance if they decided to fight me.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a dragon. It could be a demon. It could be an entirely
Yeah.
different race. It could be,
Could be a dragon who polymorphs and, pretends to be a human in certain places and says, oh yeah,
Just pretend to be a human. He pretends to be anything.
yeah, but
So you can only polymorph into a
a
human.
shapeshifter.
yeah, some
Okay.
kind of
Dwarf, elf,
shapeshifter.
what's the
So we've
difference?
got,
Because then he could turn into
like
a
a
dwarf and
shapeshifter.
attack elves, or turn into an elf and attack the orcs, and go, see, they're so dangerous. We should never mingle. They're not meant to mingle.
right.
So.
So he could be, he could be causing a lot of problems. Who's our hero?
Obviously,
you're
it's
3
these 3
kids.
kids in a trench
Yeah.
coat.
I am not convinced that the 3 kids in the trench coat are necessarily our heroes.
You're saying it's a little bit, it's not quite as, they're not quite as relatable as, say,
the little kids as being hey, we can do this, and this whole thing of we're going to do these things for these people almost as a game. You know,
Honestly,
as kind of like you trickster
Question.
fairies. Hey, we're going to do these things and it's going to be fun, and I can see them
Important
sometimes
question.
causing problems.
What kind of book is this? Because the way it's been talked about so far,
It's a kid's book.
yeah, this is a kid's book. This is 100% a kid's book. This is a kid's book.
in
where-
which case the kids could totally...
yeah,
be
and that's
the
the thing
heroes.
is this is a kid's book about. It has a very very simple morals. It has, yeah. So I don't see any reason why these 3 kids in a trench coat couldn't be the hero.
Oh, okay, well,
could
If
have
you're
a
trying to
human
make it an
kid
epic,
who's,
an epic adventure, then one,
well, yes,
make the
this is
wizard,
what I'm thinking.
make the kids older.
Well, yeah, but
No,
kids
no,
are in our
okay.
prompt. But what
Ex-
I was going
No,
to
two
do,
thoughts.
can
One,
still
you
be
could have a
kids,
human kid
they're-
who comes along and who kind of helps out and acts as their manager or gets information, spies, pickpockets, whatever, because those are fun. But if you wanted to make this more epic, though, you don't have to take out the kids. What you could
No.
do is just have this be, they're trying to survive. Well, the circumstances severe enough to bring these kids together, could be very dark. So they could have a dark past, they could have something that they came from, and then they could have people after them. They could have someone who figures out what's going on and realizes, hey, wait a second, these kids, the reason they're keeping the races separate is so they can,
But you could have someone like a merchant or a thief or something like that, who's either coming, trying to rob them, trying to deal with them, trying to bargain with whatever they're doing, and figures out these 3 kids. And instead of going, there's no reason to expose them,
Yeah.
but going, hey, I kind of want to cover this. I'll help you. I will help you keep your identity. It's going to be hard for you to go walk around market. I will help you.
Yeah.
And then as he starts seeing these other problems,
starts realizing
kind
that
of
there's a deeper problem going
I
on.
kind of actually like the idea, because these are kids, of making the thief or the merchant a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And because then you get this kind of motherly attachment to these little, these kids.
That could be fun.
And I'm going to take care of you. And then when these things start happening, then she can recruit the brave hero fighter. She can recruit,
You could go that
I
route.
thought she'd need to. Honestly, the way that this thing is described, I think these kids are powerful.
Well, true.
I think these kids are powerful enough that they can take on armies.
Well,
Okay,
if
well,
your
she
main
just
character
needs
is
to be
a girl, then you could make it more of an information war where she ends up, saving the day by getting this knowledge out that, hey, no, actually, the
You want to
elves
be
didn't
strong,
attack.
get the work together.
Yeah.
Because turns out that if you get the dwarf to cause an earthquake and then let the have all the plants attack, suddenly those plants actually are stronger for some reason. Why exactly?
One
I don't know
thing-
exactly, but apparently it helps.
I would
Yeah.
not start this book with the 3 kids in the trench coat already established. I would, because you want to see some of that. You don't have to go into all their backstories, but you want to see they're coming together and they're getting this idea. And
the
I just think
wizard.
that personally, becoming
That
the
could
great
be a lot
wizard.
of fun.
And that
I still think this could be a fun kids book, but you could still put some darker, more mature things in there.
you could go either way.
Either way.
Kid stories are super dark when you think about them for more than 2 nanoseconds.
They do a lot
It's
of dark
true.
things. It just,
Yeah.
They just do it in a very light
Cedric
way.
can create life with a simple phrase.
you can.
Yes.
You can.
Sophia the First destroyed someone's soul by singing.
Yes.
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 All right,
Anyway.
But no, this.
All right.
But a lot of it is, it's not what you do with a story, but how you do it that determines how dark
this
it
is
feels.
just
to
this
people.
just feels like a very straightforward story to me. So it just feels like a kind of kid story. So that's how I would write it.
Okay. Yeah, I
It
would
would
write
make a
it
good
as a
kid's story,
kid's
but it could also be epic. It could be epic and a kid's story. Those aren't mutually exclusive.
Okay,
But yes.
so now we've got a heroine. We've got our 3 kids in a trench coat, not 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Oh
2
yeah, I was
kids in a
thinking a
trench
dwarf,
coat.
an elf, and a fairy.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh, that could
I
be
like
fun.
that. And then we've got our villain was exploiting this. A dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, so
a
we've
dragon
got
or
those.
some other
I
shape-shifting.
think it's very easy to throw a romantic love interest in this.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the girl can meet a lot of somebody nice, handsome
somebody
to help
can
her
meet
out.
some. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities.
All right, it
for
sounds like we
romance.
got this then. Sounds
All
like
right.
fun. I think if we all wrote this, we would each do something very drastically different.
Yes. Each one of us would write a
Absolutely.
completely
Because you're
different
seeing
story.
kid story, I'm seeing.
I'm saying kid
Epic,
story.
epic
You're seeing
quest.
kid story.
Yeah, this is clearly a kid story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but see, it can be an epic quest and a kid
Yeah.
story. That's fun
Yes.
too. But,
When did I say that those were mutually
Right.
exclusive?
but how would you do this?
Right. Is
Let
this
us know.
an epic quest or a kid story?
Both.
Give us your ideas, and we will. And don't forget the prompts in our hat. We'll see you next time.